Good morning. This is the week. It is Monday, March 7th. After 24 months of pandemic, all kinds of stuff, we're coming back to NADA this week, but we have a lot more to talk about. So let's get into the Monday, get a little bounce going. Let's do it.
Everywhere I go, the people
really want to know.
People want to know. The people really want to know, Kyle. They stop and stare when they see you.
That's, you know what? You know what's so interesting about that is that hopefully this week will be exactly what we're doing all week. Is like, people really want to know, what are they doing over there? And they keep staring at us like we're real goofy and up to no good.
Well, true on both accounts, typically speaking. So look, this is a week that we've been looking forward to for a long time, and it's just ramping up in its intensity. On Wednesday, Thursday, tens of thousands of automotive industry professionals are going to converge on Las Vegas. Is it Nevada or Nevada? What do you say?
Nevada.
Yeah.
I think it depends.
We had this debate in my house last night, and I couldn't even remember what I usually say. It's like data, right? I thought you'd be in Nevada because you're a data guy. I don't know. But tens of
Nevada,
thousands,
Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah, there we go.
All right, we'll give it that. We'll call it that. We're all coming together. It's been a really, really long time, and we have decided to go beyond all in, pun intended, for Vegas. We are bringing a huge production crew. We have plans for multiple live streams every day. So if you're going to be there, look for us. We're going to be out front of the convention center where everyone's coming in the morning. We're going to make a little bit of a scene. We have a bit of an announcement to make on Saturday, live and in person. We're going to have a lot of special guests, dealers that you know and that you'd really want to meet. So be looking for us as you come in the gates in the mornings. But we have, 12 live streams planned, Kyle? How many?
I think actually 13 between Thursday and Sunday. 13 live streams, from speaking engagements to all things used cars on Friday to morning, midday, and nightly updates. And then, hey, who knows? We might live stream I don't know. Like, we could break records this weekend.
I think we need the live stream from the stadium.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Well, here's the deal. We're bringing a huge production crew. We have bought more audio gear than you could potentially imagine. Like, we have all kinds of stuff. We have zillion microphones. We found ways to connect audio gear to phones, and so we can, bring you the news. If you can't go to NADA, go to ASOTUNADA.com. ASOTUNADA.com, and it's going to have the schedule and it's going to have the list, and this is the one to share, right? Share this page with people so get on the email list, because we are going to try to make you feel like you got all the best parts of NADA, even though you couldn't go. It has never, ever been covered like this before, and it's our goal, right, to bring it to the people, Kyle.
Exactly. No, and I love it because, especially coming from the dealership side, like, you can't go to all these things. You can't go every year, right? And so to be able to bring some of that energy, excitement, even just the news, the understanding. I always thought about like, all the dealers are getting the email. We're announcing this at NADA. We're doing this at NADA, right? And there's some of that where even if you can't go, you're like, I really want to know about that. Yeah. But now I'm going to have to wait till my salesperson calls me 2 weeks later, or I finally get someone on the phone because they're out of NADA time, right? Yeah. And now you might be able to get some of that like on tap, like right away.
Yeah, and you can follow hashtag ASOTU. Use the hashtag ASOTU, ASOTU, on social platforms. We're going to try to tag that on everything so the content shows up, because we're also bringing editors. So we'll have the live stream content, but we're going to be shooting and doing interviews all day, every day, and be trying to bust out that content really quick in an edited fashion. So you can say, like, we're going full network mode during NADA. Yes. Exactly. We're going to do our best. It's our first time. We're trying to bring it to you as best we can. We're going to be at the Auto News Retail Forum. We have press credentials for that the day before on Thursday. So we're going to cover that show. It's the 40 under 40. We're going to be hanging out with some good friends that you will recognize there. We'll try to bring you all the good stuff. And so now is the time to share the email, right? If you're on the email list, you're already in the best place to understand. You get everything, ASOTU.com. Sign up for the email list. Get your friends on it, because this is going to be our biggest effort to date. We'll see if it's our best effort to date, but it's our biggest effort to date. Kyle, you're wearing a new t-shirt for the people on the podcast.
Look at this guy. Yeah. Look at this guy. If you can see it. So if you can't see it, you need to go to shop.asotu.com and check it out. But it is a shirt that has 3 different pronunciations, we'll call it, but they're all the same. We just don't really know, if there's a linguist out there that can help us with this, we'd be grateful for it. But we basically got 3 different ways to pronounce ASOTU, which is all just ASOTU. And then it's got the little, like, if you're on the Twitter, you know, the little shrug guy, right?
Tech shrug. Yeah. Like, is it AH ASOTU? Is it UH ASOTU? So we had a heated debate about it. So we decided to make it into a t-shirt. And so Kyle's rocking that this morning. So it was my birthday last Friday. Amazing birthday wishes for everybody, from everybody. Thank you. I'm still trying to catch up in my LinkedIn, because when someone just clicks that little happy birthday button, it goes right into your DMs. So it's like making your way through that is not an easy thing. But so I went home and we celebrated birthday with my family, and, you know, my kids made me some birthday gifts. Right. And the ones that made me birthday gifts were both 12 and 10 respectively. And this is going to show you that my kids understand what's important to me. And for all of you that watch or listen, you're going to understand that this isn't just like on the live stream, Paul, right? Here's what my 10-year-old made me for my birthday. It is,
yes.
It is
so if you're listening, it is a hand-painted "No Crisis Can Win" with the dots after every word, like no crisis can win, right?
Because they know that I believe that and I love that. And then my 12-year-old made me this origami black hat. It's not quite a flat brim, just because you can't do the origami. And then she made interchangeable labels. So there's my ASOTU hat.
No.
And then I can pull the ASOTU label out. And then here's my contagious hat.
No.
Right. Way. And then here's my clarity hat with the proper sizing. If you're not seeing this on the live stream, this is going to be worth it. And then
unbelievable.
Last but certainly not least is my Eagles logo.
Eagles logo.
So all to say, like, I always talk about trying to be the same person on camera, off camera, on the internet, not on the internet. That was, for me, it was like, my kids know what's important. So we live this. Kyle does too, even though his kids didn't make him an origami hat yet, because it's not your birthday. But you know, we today we're going to talk about some stuff. We wanted to start the show off. I know it's a little longer.
Hold on just a second. Hold on, because speaking of the no crisis can win
stuff.
Segue
Time.
So if you saw on Friday or were listening to the podcast, you heard that we got the shirts in, and I was wearing the new No Crisis Can Win shirt. Well, my mom was in town actually, and she saw the boxes in the living room with all the shirts, and she was like, "I'd like a shirt." And so I'm showing her the shirts, and it's pushback, and it's No Crisis Can Win, and it's the ASOTU thing. She's like, "What's that No Crisis Can Win thing mean?" And I explained it to her, how, like, we just believe that it doesn't matter, especially in automotive. It doesn't matter what's coming up, whether it's chip shortage or Ukraine conflict or COVID or any other market influence. We believe that when dealers band together, no crisis can win. And she looks at me dead in the eye and goes, "I want that one." Right.
That's right.
And I think, well, she's not in the automotive industry, right? But that is a universal truth, that if we push back on that, if we band together on that, meaning that it's not just so much when dealers band together, it's actually when people band together, when people get together and get on the same page and push together, no crisis can win. It's a universal actual message.
It's a feeling.
Yeah.
Right. It's an empowerment. Well, that's great to hear that, especially come from someone outside the industry, and like to connect with that, because you know, all eyes have been on the Russia-Ukraine conflict. All eyes have been on supply chains. All eyes have been on, you know, all these uncertain things, gas prices. And so we're like, what are we talking about this morning? And we're like, it's all Russia, right? Like, what good can we talk about? So we have some things, if you look in the show notes every day, there are links to articles that we've curated that we're talking about. So, talking about Netflix and Russia pulling out, talking about oil hitting high prices, talking about the chip shortage, and a real interesting one too. There's a mining company in Russia. What are they called? Norilsk Nickel. And their mining operations account for 5% of the world's nickel. And get this, 40% of the world's palladium.
That's
40. So that's in automotive, right? It's catalytic converters, but a little thing called semiconductor chips need palladium. And so they're one of the Russian companies that have yet to be sanctioned. The oligarch that runs it hasn't been sanctioned. The company hasn't been sanctioned. Right. And there's a little bit of a chokehold moment here, it feels like.
Right. I mean, it's almost like, well, at this point, I kind of come to expect it. Right. Yeah. Over the last 2 years, I was running this morning. And the news was the pandemic basically like started in the US exactly 2 years ago. And so now, like when I read the news, when I see something like this, I'm like, yep, that it's almost expected that disruption happens, right? Or that something interesting in global leverage is of note to not just the
But not a
automotive
little
industry,
thing,
but
right? Like not
every
little
business,
things,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Ben, great comment, Ben. Oh, that's not the one. Only a matter of time. True, Robert. Ben comments lithium needs nickel. Yeah, we didn't talk about that
Yep.
either. A little something called EV batteries. Do we
Yeah.
need more batteries? Do we think we're going to need more batteries?
Yeah, the price of lithium is 2x in 2022 alone from the year-end price in 2021.
It's
2x.
like you said though, like expecting it to happen. You maybe you know this on my wall, real big across from me. It says we don't expect it to be easy, and I think that today we've said like let's talk about leadership, what leaders do, right, in times like this, because what good can we bring to this news, right, to this constant barrage of like these things that you said today, like we've come to expect that something is going to happen, and not only expect like little things, but these are, I mean, any of these little pieces of news in and of themselves, like 5 years ago, would have been seismic, right?
Catastrophic.
It
Yeah,
would have been
exactly.
hair on fire, people running around, right? Like that gif,
Right.
that we're talking about. Right? But now there's an element of becoming, a little battle hardened to the fact that like, hey, no crisis can win. Like we saw that in one of the most intense things that ever happened to United States commerce and the world at stake, but United States, right? We shut down the economy.
Right.
Guess what? The crisis didn't win. What? And I would say everyone in our community and probably in the industry at large would be like, we're so much stronger than we used to be.
Right. We buckled down. We battened down the hatches, learned from what we could. And I mean, I listened to Brian Kramer on Clubhouse this morning going, it was an accelerant for him to totally shift his way of doing business in the showroom and on the internet, right? To refine the practices, to dial in the processes, to get the right people on board, to execute the change management, because people are already starting to get used to changing literally every day.
Yeah.
So you've got a target rich environment for change management.
Yeah,
right.
No doubt. And so what do leaders do in times like this? What does a real leader do?
This is what I would say is a real leader doesn't push it to the side and say it isn't happening. A real leader walks into work today and goes, guess what? I know that everything that you got over your weekend, whether that was Saturday and Sunday or just Sunday or whatever it was, a real leader walks in and goes, I know that that's a reality for you and your life. Let's connect that to how it works within our business and how you can be empathetic to those people around you, your coworkers, and empathetic to the people that you come in contact with today that are customers across the line. Because everyone's dealing with the same news barrage, whether it be in their Twitter feed, their linear TV, wherever it is, everyone's dealing with that.
Their family conversations, people sending messages and family text threads, all of it.
So a real leader is empathetic to the people that person that you lead, and you lean into it instead of pulling back or shoving it to the side, recognizing that everybody is having that human element, and adding the human element to it actually makes it an accelerant for better things.
Without it. You know what happens when you come in and you say the obvious and you state the thing that people might be coming in and like they're all buttoned up. It's time to go to work and I'm going to log into my CRM and I'm going to start my thing, or I'm a service advisor. And I'm going to log in. And I'm going to start checking my appointments, and you kind of go into like autopilot mode. That all those emotions and all those thoughts and feelings that have been building up inside you, those anxieties, they don't go away.
They don't.
Right.
Exactly.
You just suppress them and you smush them. And leaders, your people are suppressing and smushing it. And you can totally choose to be the relief valve this morning. And
absolutely,
what would it look like if coming into work for your team meant a lighter load and not a heavier load? What is that going to do for your business, for the way you serve customers, for the way your people can depend on you? What does that do? So, I mean, we wrestled over like, what do we talk about that's positive news this morning? Right? What do we talk about? Because all the news headlines and everything we curate seem to be doom and gloom. Well, this is the difference. This is why the automotive industry really does, I believe, embrace no crisis can win.
That's it.
Just do. You have any parting words, Kyle? Because we're
I'm encouraged, and I hope that if you're listening, if you're watching, that you're encouraged, that the human element of our experiences, whether business or relationships, does not disappear when crises come in, whether it be Ukraine or chip shortages or nickel shortages or anything like that in the news that you're seeing. And your people and the people that are around you, whether you're in leadership or not, you have an opportunity to lead today, and leading into the humility and the feeling and the embrace of the human side of business is exactly what everyone needs today.
Without a doubt. Well, we're going to end on that note. We hope this gave you a little bit of steel in your spine on a Monday morning and a little energy in your step. NADA. Go to ASOTUNADA.com. We're bringing it to you all week. See you tomorrow. Leave the right.